Deep in the forests of North America, there are stories of something ancient, something that walks like a man but isn't human. For decades, people have reported seeing enormous, ape-like creatures moving silently through the trees, leaving behind giant footprints, strange howls, and the feeling of being watched. The legend of Bigfoot or Sasquatch has been passed down through generations, especially among indigenous communities who spoke of wild men of the woods long before modern sightings began. Some say it's just a myth, a trick of the light, or overactive imaginations, but others have seen something they can't explain, creatures that disappear just as quickly as they appear. Tonight, we're looking at 5 real encounters with what many believe was Bigfoot. It's October 20th, 1967. Roger Patterson and Bob Gimlin are deep in the Six Rivers National Forest, near Bluff Creek in Northern California. The two men are on horseback, exploring the rugged terrain where recent reports of enormous footprints have stirred local curiosity. Patterson, always fascinated by the legend of Bigfoot, carries a rented 16mm camera just in case. Then it happens. From behind a stand of trees, something steps into the clearing. A tall, broad-shouldered figure covered in dark brown hair, walking upright. Patterson's horse rears back, nearly throwing him, but he manages to grab his camera and start filming. The creature looks over its shoulder once, a quick, unmistakable glance, before continuing its stride across the creek bed and disappearing into the woods. The entire encounter lasts less than a minute. But the short roll of film that Patterson captures will become one of the most studied and controversial clips in history. Known today as the Patterson-Gimlin film, it appears to show a muscular, human-like figure, later nicknamed Patty, moving with a fluid, powerful gait. You can see its arm swing, the turn of its torso, even the flexing of what appear to be muscles beneath the fur. Some experts claim the proportions don't match any known primate or human. Skeptics, of course, argue otherwise. Many believe it was simply a man in a costume, though no definitive evidence of a hoax has ever surfaced. Patterson passed away just a few years later, insisting until his death that the footage was authentic. Gimlin, to this day, maintains the same story. Whether you see a man in a suit or a glimpse of something still lurking in the forests of Northern California, the Patterson-Gimlin film remains the gold standard of Bigfoot. Sightings, a mystery frozen forever on grainy 16mm film. In the summer of 2000, a youth group led by a man named Jim Mills set out for a week-long backpacking trip into the Marble Mountain wilderness of Northern California, one of the most remote and rugged regions in the state. On their third night in camp, the group began noticing strange signs, enormous footprints pressed deep into the dirt, and crude shelters built from branches and logs. Whatever made them was big. Then, at dawn, one of the hikers spotted movement high up on a ridge. They grabbed a camera and began to film. The grainy video shows a dark, human-shaped figure walking along the ridgeline, hundreds of feet above the camp. Its movement is steady and deliberate, but strange. The gait looks too heavy, too purposeful, to be a person simply hiking that terrain. For nearly 7 minutes, the camera tracks the figure as it moves along the slope before disappearing behind the rocks. The footage, later known as the Marble Mountain video, drew serious attention from Bigfoot researchers. Some noted the creature's size and stride, saying it would have taken an unusually tall person to cover that distance so quickly on such steep ground. Skeptics argued it was likely a camper or backpacker, perhaps unaware they were being filmed, but the youth group insisted no one else was within miles of their location, and that the footprints and the shelters they found beforehand matched the direction the figure had come from. Whether it was a man alone in the wilderness or something else entirely. The Marble Mountain footage remains one of the longest, clearest recordings ever made of what many still believe could be Bigfoot. It's October 2012, and a group of friends are hiking through Provo Canyon, Utah, one of the state's most scenic but rugged areas. A place where thick pine trees and jagged cliffs make it easy to feel completely alone. One of them, a man named Samantha's brother, who later posted the footage online, is filming the landscape when he spots movement in the trees ahead. At first, he assumes it's a bear. The group watches quietly as the dark shape crouches among the branches. But then it stands up. The figure rises onto two legs, tall and broad-shouldered, covered in dark hair. In that moment, realization hits. Whatever this thing is, it isn't a bear. The friends freeze. The creature turns toward them and lets out a low, guttural sound. Then, suddenly, it lunges forward through the trees. The hikers scream and run, the cameras shaking wildly as they flee down the trail. When they finally stop recording, they realize the creature hadn't chased them, but something had thrown small rocks into the clearing where they'd been standing. The video, later uploaded to YouTube, quickly went viral. Experts and skeptics alike weighed in, some saying the figure's height and posture were unmistakably human, others pointing out the sheer terror in the voices of those filming. To this day, no one has stepped forward to claim the video was a hoax. There was no costume found, no confession, no signs of anyone else in the canyon that day. For those who believe the Provo Canyon sighting is one of the most authentic modern encounters ever caught on camera, a reminder that even in the age of smartphones, there are still things we can't explain. It's 2013, and Josh Highcliffe is hunting on his property in the swamps of Tunica, Mississippi. The area is remote, thick with cypress trees and tangled underbrush, the kind of place where the sounds of the forest can feel almost alive. Josh is quietly walking through the swamp when he notices movement ahead. At first, he thinks it's a bear, but something about the shape doesn't feel right. The figure is crouched low near a cypress's stump, almost hidden among the shadows. Then it stands up. The creature rises onto two legs, tall and broad-shouldered, covered in dark hair. Its hands and head are unmistakably human-like, yet the sheer size is anything but ordinary. Josh freezes, camera raised, capturing every second. The figure moves slowly through the swamp, pausing as if aware it's being watched. Josh begins filming more deliberately, the camera shaking slightly as he follows. The creature doesn't run, but its deliberate, cautious gait is unlike any animal he knows. For a moment, it seems to watch him before slipping back into the dense forest, disappearing as silently as it appeared. The footage was later uploaded online, quickly attracting attention from Bigfoot enthusiasts and skeptics alike. Some argued it was a hoax or a misidentified black bear, while others pointed to the upright posture, broad shoulders, and hand-like features as evidence that something extraordinary had been captured on film. No one ever came forward to claim it was staged. No costume, no trick, no one else in the swamp that day. Just the footage and the memory of a man who couldn't unsee what he had seen. For those who follow the legend, the Mississippi footage remains one of the most compelling modern encounters. A haunting reminder that in the hidden corners of the world, there may still be things we are not meant to understand. In the summer of 1992, Paul Freeman, a former U.S. Forest Service ranger, was documenting unusually large footprints in the Blue Mountains along the Oregon-Washington border. Freeman had been investigating Bigfoot reports for years, and what he found that day would become one of the most talked about encounters in modern Bigfoot research. Freeman captured video of a large, bipedal figure moving through the dense forest. Unlike blurry silhouettes or fleeting glimpses, this footage showed a creature with a clear, upright posture, long limbs, and broad shoulders. Its movements were deliberate, and it appeared aware of Freeman's presence, yet it made no attempt to flee in panic. Experts and skeptics have debated the Freeman footage for decades. Some argue that the video is too low resolution to confirm the figure's identity and suggest it could have been a person in costume. Others point to the creature's gait proportions and the isolated location as evidence that Freeman may have documented something genuinely extraordinary. What makes this sighting particularly compelling is Freeman's experience and credibility. As a trained ranger, he knew the local wildlife and the difference between a bear or elk and an unknown bipedal creature. No evidence of a hoax or other explanation has ever been confirmed. For those who study Bigfoot, the Blue Mountain encounter remains a benchmark, a rare combination of eyewitness credibility, physical evidence in the form of footprints, and actual video capturing the figure's movements in a remote wilderness setting. And there you have it. 5 claimed real Bigfoot sightings ever caught on film. Bigfoot sightings continue to capture the imagination, from remote swamps to dense mountain forests. Each video, footprint, and eyewitness account adds to the mystery, keeping the legend alive in the minds of believers and skeptics alike. What are your thoughts on these claimed Bigfoot sightings? Are you a believer? Let me know down in the comments. And just a quick one from me, you may notice this channel has moved over to a new name, Cryptid Echo. While researching for these videos, I realized there's a larger channel with the same name I was using, and the last thing I want is for anyone to think I'm trying to copy them. This new name feels right, and it still reflects everything we explore here, the mysteries, the legends, and all things cryptid. Thanks for sticking with me, and I'm excited to keep sharing more weird and unexplained stories with you. Please give this video a like, subscribe, and hit the bell if you enjoyed this video, and it helps me out more than you know. And there's plenty more to come. See you next time.